Welcome back to Office Hours. I'm David Meltzer, and I've been joined with the incredible trio over here. They look like the Italian flag with a lot of pride. And of course, Lena, welcome as a host on Office Hours, an incredible CEO and founder of Rise Up For You, an author, getting people to rise up. But my favorite thing about Netta, you and I share one thing. My whole life mission is about enjoying the consistent everyday, persistent without quit pursuit of your potential. And your whole philosophy and your business is revolving around empowering people to not only identify their potential, but to rise up and go get it. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you, David. Ben, one of the things that I love about your journey is the very beginning, the story. That first day when you asked Denzel Washington for a job. And from there, you were able to make that ask, and it catapulted you into this incredible career in the entertainment industry to where you are today. And I know you have some great stuff coming out soon. So tell us about the importance of really pushing through that fear and making the ask, because it could really be a game changer in your life.
Just know that there's been 3 or 4 times I've reached out to another celebrity just to say, hey man, I'm a big fan of your work, whatever. And I've been brushed off like, get out of here, you punk, you loser, like stop. And you get some really rude people, you get some things, or you get like, just not a pleasant reply. And even, like random occasions where I'll be at a hotel and I'm in a very small private bathroom and Tom Cruise is in the bathroom and I don't use the card that my sister was his stylist for 20 years, pretty much, every cover he was on for 20 years, my sister dressed him and everything. And I'm like, do I say something? Do I not say something? I'm like, I have to say something. Okay, hey, Tom, it's Ben Yang. I'm Jin Yang's brother. And he turns around and he gives me like a kiss on the cheek. He's like, bro, are you kidding me? What are you doing here? Do you want to have dinner with me? And I'm like, holy shit. And then you have the occasion where like, hey man, bro, I'm friends with, I'm Drake's boy and blah, blah. And the guy's like, what, man, get this guy the out of here. So it's like just weird things that have happened. That Denzel situation, it was the entryway to so many different things in my life. I met so many people at that bar. I met so many important people at that bar, I can't even tell you.
Ming, I know you know the importance of eating healthy, especially in today's world with, the rising rates of cancer and heart disease. And I know you do a lot of great work with the Cancer Foundation. So with this new line, Ming Bing products, tell us how you're infusing both of them together, really being a conscious eater while at the same time providing healthy food that we can enjoy.
The story goes back 4 years, and this story ends up great because my wife is 100% healthy and cancer-free. But almost 4 years ago this October, diagnosed a non-smoker with stage 4 lung cancer. Out of the blue, just a crazy diagnosis. So the 2 things we decided to do, obviously we went to Dana-Farber, of course, one of the best cancer hospitals in the world. She qualified for something called Tagrisso, which is an oral pill. She took a pill every day that wiped her cancer out. She's cancer-free. That was the first thing we did. So thank you, Dana-Farber. Thank you, AstraZeneca, for developing the drug. 2, she went vegan. And back then, pre-COVID, I was still traveling a lot. So I literally went to grocery stores and said, okay, what veggie patty, what can I buy for my wife when I'm traveling that she can eat that's delicious? Well, if you go to the veggie patty section in any grocery store, not to disparage anyone, but they're horrible. They're these dry hockey pucks with emulsified grains and chickpeas, and they were not edible. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make it my mission and make a great veggie patty. Make a vegan patty that she can enjoy, make it super easy for her to cook and for everyone else in this country to cook. And flip the paradigm. Put the emulsification on the outside. So don't worry about pureeing stuff and making it stick together. I did it more like, it's called a bing. A bing is a traditional dim sum item in China. They're usually round shaped, so I made it square shaped instead. So like a spring roll, the original has 8 super veg. Watercress, 6 times the vitamin C of oranges. Edamame's pepitas, so tree nut free, peanut free, but great fat and great protein. Garlic, ginger, and onions are all natural antioxidants, and shiitake mushrooms are immune enhancing. So all of that walks together wrapped in a gluten-free brown rice wrap.
I'm plant-based as well, and it is really important, and I find that he's absolutely right. Sometimes you find food out there and it's like cardboard and you don't enjoy it as much, right? So especially for people trying to make the transition, you want to enjoy your food at the same time. I'm just excited to try his food.
Yeah, beats a hockey puck, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Vivek, you came to this country with only $50 in your pocket, and you created this incredible success in a multitude of industries, technology, as we know, the sports industry. But I think the common denominator is really your leadership. So what are some core values in regards to leadership that have helped you build the success with the team and within these various organizations?
Yeah, so everyone has a superpower. And my superpower is that I've always been able to surround myself with people that are way smarter than me. And so, you know, that's helped me throughout my life and throughout my career, that for some reason I can convince really, really smart people to come join me. You want to get the best of the brightest, and then you want them to each feel like they're doing their own thing. So you're bringing out the best in them. And they can even improvise from time to time. So the leader of the future is a jazz band conductor, you know, assembling different pieces and then making sure that it's all coming together as music. So I think that that's kind of what I've been able to do, is be that jazz band director. I refer to myself as kind of the chief annoyance officer. So I can be very annoying. And so the role of a good leader is, and I had the good fortune of being friends with folks like Steve Jobs, and who people would tell you was, kind of the world champion in being annoying. But, it's kind of like if you look at, how you make something of beauty. So if you look at a pearl, it starts with an empty shell, and there's a grain of sand that gets into the shell. And that grain of sand is an irritant, and then the pearl forms around it. So I'm like the chief irritant, so I'm always asking annoying questions. So always pushing the envelope, always annoying people with, why not do better? Why not do it, in a way that nobody has ever thought of before? And I think that's what leaders do.
Shane, I know a lot of small business owners, and I'm sure you do too, that spend a lot of their genius zone and their energy and time doing these tasks that aren't growing the business because they don't want to outsource. So when would you say is a good time to have that VA or to outsource with a company like yours?
We get this question a lot. And if you're a small business owner or you do everything yourself, there's a couple of things you need to do. The very first one is you need to create an SOP, which is a standard operating procedure. You need to write down what you do from when you wake up, from when you end your day. And I'm not talking about personal things, I'm talking about your business. And if you have 40 hours worth of work, that's the start. Now, imagine hiring a virtual assistant to delegate that 40 hours worth of work every single week. Imagine what you can do. Well, now you could focus on client acquisition and growth. You could focus on more free time with your family. Or you can think about different avenues and explorations of what you want to do with your business as far as expansion goes.
I'm telling you, as we grew so quickly, it was so nice, not to have hundreds of extra employees. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you, if anyone had to ever get rid of someone, not because they're not doing a good job, but because especially with technology, the positions change so fast. Yeah. And then you're looking at someone going, they have a family, I have 4 children, and I just don't have it in me. And it's so nice that Shane has to deal with all that, and I don't.
Yeah, and I think when we think of VA, we typically think of it as a coach or a consultant, right? You just need that virtual assistant. But you're right, what you said earlier, that the workspace is changing, and even larger corporations and big businesses can use these VAs to cut payroll costs, employee benefits, and that kind of stuff as well. Mark, you mentioned a really great point, and in the last year and a half, there's been a lot of people that are resigning from the corporate world to build a business, and it's really accelerating. But as you know, it's not about starting the business, but it's the staying power within a business. So anyone that's watching this that is interested in building that startup, what would you say is that first step that they really need to act on in order to be successful?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of right answers, but I know what our DNA is. We build companies that have great metrics and have sustainability in terms of profits, which means in the early stage, we're hyper-focused on what is the one goal or 2 metrics that are really going to define success. And again, going back to getting too much money too early, people paint these big 5 and 10-year visions, and they've got this long-term roadmap, and that's all great. It's fun to think that way. But when the music stops, and it will stop, we're going through a phase right now with irrational valuations and irrational capital. It'll stop. I've been through that 3 times. And when it stops, only the companies with true metrics are going to survive.
It's all about systems, and that's what he's doing right. It's having those benchmarks, those metrics for sustainability so that the business can last. And that's really going to be critical for business owners.
Well, this has been an extraordinary episode. This is the best office to be in. Here, I'm David Meltzer with Office Hours.